Hey guys, this is my first YouTube video, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Meg. I am here with my introduction for the Team Project Pan. I realize I am a month late, unfortunately, because everybody started in January. January, due to what I do for work, is one of the busiest months for me. It was near impossible for me to do much of anything, let alone gather all of my stuff for Project Pan. This is actually the second time I am trying to record this video. I tried to do it on my MacBook about 5 minutes ago, and I started watching some of the playback, and it is super choppy. It wasn't worth saving, so I am going to try to speed through this a little bit faster than I did with the MacBook, and hope that this turns out a little bit better. So I have all of my stuff laid out over here. I'm actually really excited to be doing this. I don't typically pan my products. My typical habit is that I buy a lot of makeup and I use it for a long time, and then I tend to get bored with the color or the product or the formula. And by that point, I've had it for so long that it's not worth keeping, and I end up just chucking it. So I'm excited to actually try to get a lot of use out of a lot of my products. Some of the stuff I do have here, I did receive as gifts, which will be nice. I mean, granted, I didn't spend the money on them, but I do know what some of the pricing is for a lot of these palettes and stuff that I have sitting next to me. And it'll be exciting to see how much use I have gotten out of some of these products. So with that in mind, let's get started. I'm going to start with a lot of my face makeup. So I'm going to start with like my base products and things like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I am panning as far as my eye makeup goes. But to start with, I do not use foundations. I used to use a liquid foundation, and it just, you can see here, I tend to get a lot of breakouts around here, and the liquid foundation does not help that. It actually makes it a whole lot worse. So I just up and eliminated foundation out of my routine. I typically don't wear a lot of makeup for work anyway, so it kind of works out. It saves me a little bit of money that I don't have to use the foundation. I do have a couple of powder foundations that I use for when I have special occasions. So I had to go to a wedding last June, and I grabbed a powder foundation that matched me for the summer, and I just put that on and did the rest of my makeup. So when I need to wear a foundation for things like that, I typically pick up a powder. Those are both fairly new. I have one that matches me for the winter. I do have one that matches me for the summer. I'm not going to be panning those just because they're still fairly new. However, I do blush every day. So I'm going to try to pan one of my blushes here. This is the blush palette from Profusion. You can find this at Target. For the price, this is actually a really, really good palette. I have used it quite a bit already. This was one of the things I was saying I received as a gift. My mom picked them up for me. She thought I would like them. Either that or I was with her. I don't remember at this point, but as you can see, I've already panned one of these, which was really exciting for me because, like I said, I don't typically pan my makeup. But I really liked this blush color. It is their shade Playful. That was actually a really, really good match for me blush-wise. That's why I got used up. I was using it a little bit every day, and it was a really good color. I think I found a dupe for it, so I have a backup for when I do pan this blush. Right now I'm trying to pan the one right above it, and as you can see, I have hit pan on it. I'm just trying to use up the rest of it. That is in the color Lush. It is slightly too dark for me. It's a little too brown. Which normally would be fine, but I don't know if you can see, it looks just a tiny bit muddy on me, and seeing as I like to blush like I grew up in the 80s and go from here up, it tends to not look super great unless I have done it with precision and it looks more like a contour than a blush. It never does. Next, as far as my my face makeup goes, is I have a highlighter that I would like to try to pan. This one I actually really like the color on it. It's just I've been using it so much that I think it did hit pan slightly on it. I do really like this color a lot. It is part of the Strobe and Glow palette from Profusion. Again, another gift, but I'm gonna try to pan this color here. It's called Fairy Dust. It is an iridescent highlighter because it's hard to see in the pan in the lighting right now. I don't really have a recording setup right now, so it's just my lamps in my room and the lighting's not great, but it is an iridescent highlighter. It is white in the pan, it goes on, it looks a little pink, and then once the light hits, it tends to look a little bit more blue. I know that's not everybody's thing. I personally love it. Once that's gone, I think I'm going to move on to, I have a Super Shock Cheek from ColourPop in the shade Hippo. It is a purple highlighter, a lavender to be specific, but I absolutely love that highlighter. I used to use it all the time. That one's definitely got a very large dip in it. I know I've hit pan on that one. I just want to try to use up the rest of it. I don't have it sitting in front of me right now, but I'll make sure to take photos of it when I go to do my my photos for status updates. But so we're gonna try to pan Fairy Dust out of this and then move on to Hippo from ColourPop. And then the other product I have for face products is this concealer here. It is the Collab No Flaws Cream Concealer. It is in the shade Porcelain Ivory. This is a Sally Beauty concealer. I do really like the coverage on this. But as you can see, this is still a fairly unused product. There is a lot of product here, and I really would like this out of my stash. It matches me really well. It's just, I don't love the formula. It is a cream concealer, like I said, but the texture of it's really strange. It goes on like a cream, but then it feels more like a powder. That type of formula doesn't work well for me. I have kind of puffy eyes, and if I can't set it, it tends to crease, and with the cream going to a powder, it just creases like crazy on me. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's not great. I don't like it, but if you're into that kind of formula, it is really nice. It does apply really nice. And like I said, the coverage is good. It's just, it likes to crease right around the inner corner on me. So I'd like to use up the rest of this, and then maybe, because this is a good shade match, a good color match for me, I might try to see if I can get the liquid concealer next time, and use that instead. I tend to prefer the liquid concealers, but the two they had in the shade, in this light porcelain ivory shade, had been opened and used by customers already, and I'm not playing with that. So we're going to try to do that and move on to a liquid concealer. But so that's what I have for my face. We can move on to eye products now. So I have a couple of eye products here. I know a lot of people typically don't try to pan eyeshadow palettes, but I do have this little palette here from e.l.f. It is the Mad for Matte palette. Oh, sorry. I bought this after seeing someone review it in a YouTube video, and I actually really like this palette. I just haven't picked it up in a long time. I was using this quite consistently, and then I got a couple of really nice neutral palettes that I just like a little bit better than this for Christmas. They are also Profusion. I am also probably going to try to pan those because I already have too many eyeshadows and palettes, and I don't need as many as I have. So I'm going to try to pan a bunch of those this year. We'll see if I even get through one, but this one I really liked. It's got some really nice like base shades for me, so like this is a really good base like all over lid color. This kind of medium brown here I use a lot as a crease color. And then this here I used quite a bit just over top of like my crease and my corner shades. This does have a black in it. I don't typically use black eyeshadows, but I think I'm going to try to use this even just as like a liner, and maybe try to do some more smoky looks with it just to try to put a dent in it even, because I don't tend to use the black shades. They just tend to sit forever, and then I feel bad because I'm throwing out an eyeshadow that's barely been touched. So I'm going to try to use that. This shade here, I don't know if you can see that. My camera's not going to focus. There is a dip in that all over color already. So once I hit pan on that, I am going to change over to an all over shade from one of my Pro Fusion palettes, and then try to work my way through the rest of my crease and outer corner colors out of this. Oh, excuse me. I want to try to use up as much of this as I can. It wasn't a super expensive palette, neither were my Pro Fusion palettes, but I hate to spend the money and then never use it. So I want to try to use up as much as I can out of that, just get my money's worth. Along with that, I do have a couple of other eyeshadows I want to try to use. I would like to use, I have this Super Shock shadow from ColourPop. This is in the shade Lala. It's a really pretty color. I swatched it for the last video. It's a really pretty color. It is not the shade I thought it was when I bought it. So it is pretty. It's not the all over lid color that I was looking for. But I'm going to try to use that up and use it as more of like a lighter shade or a more metallic shade, give a little pop of color. While using up this matte palette. Probably not consistently, but if I can put a dip in that, I'd be thrilled. I've had this for a long time. I thought it was actually drying out, but this is not as dry as I thought it was. I actually should have probably tried to pan the blue one. I have a really pretty blue from ColourPop in the shade Sugar that I might try to pan next month, but we're going to try to put a bigger dip in this. It does have a little bit of a dip in it, but if I want to try to see if I can't hit the pan on this. On top of that, I do have one other Super Shock shadow, and you're probably gonna die. I have had this since I started ordering from ColourPop. So this was a limited edition Super Shock shadow in Birthday Boy. I loved this color. This is the color I was trying to match when I bought Lala. This is more of a creamy, browny, champagne-y color, and it's a little sparkly as opposed to just a straight up like foil metallic like Lala is. But if you can see, it has dried up and crumbled. I still have been able to get a little bit of pigment out of it when I have tried to use it. So I'm going to see if I can't just mush up these crumblies a little bit more and almost try to use it as a loose pigment, just to see if I can't try to use up all of this. I mean, if it's just a no-go once I do that and it's just crumbling all over the place and I can't get it to apply to the lid properly, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out. Like I said, I have had this for a really, really long time. I'm really partial to this color though. That's why I still have it. But if I can use this up, I'd be really, really thrilled. But no harm, no foul if I have to throw it out. So that's it for my eyeshadows. But I do have one more eye product. Again, I have a feeling I'm going to get judged a little bit for this, and that's okay. I deserve every bit of that judgment because I am trying to use up this eyeliner. Clearly, it is very, very old. As the label has worn off, but I do know where this came from. It is the dual-ended eyeliner from Pat McGrath. It came with the Metamorphosis set. I am going to try to pan a couple of those cream shadows as well. I really like the pigment on them. The color's really nice. It's just I don't use the cream products as much as I should, but that's for next month. But right now I'm going to try to use this up so I can go and buy a fresh one. As of right now, because it does have the dual end, this side, the chisel side, I was using a lot when I first got it, so this is virtually gone. You can see here on the swatches, it goes on a little strangely and a little patchy, splotchy. This line here on the oh my god, directions. On the other side of Lala, the thinner line over here is the fine tip from that eyeliner. It still works really well. It still gives me a lot of pigment. I really should have stopped using this a long time ago, but I know how much it is to replace just the fine liner end of this, and I refuse to get rid of this until it is dried up. I'm sure it's going to bite me in the ass one of these days and give me an eye infection, but until then, we're going to try to dry this out. Aside from that, as far as the face goes, I do have a couple of lip products that I'm trying to use up. I have this little mini. It is a mini of the ColourPop lip glosses. I have had this pretty much since I started ordering from ColourPop, and that was about 3 years ago. I used to use this a ton. It is a discontinued color. They brought it out with the first release of the lip glosses. It still smells fine. It still applies fine. That's what I'm wearing right now. It is in the shade Tokyo Tea. I actually meant to buy a full size of this when they released the lip glosses, and I never did, and I regret that every day because, as you can see, it's a really pretty color. It looks kind of pink in the tube, kind of like a reddish pink on the lips. In this light, it is actually more of like almost like a neon orangey, like corally pink. It is very pretty. It applies more like a chapstick. It's got kind of a buttery, little bit of a sticky, almost like a chapstick feel to it, which is why I liked this so much. So I'm going to try to use up the rest of this. There is not a lot left in there. You can see there is a gap in the side here. It's about to here, I think. Maybe a little lower than that. I am going to mark these and take some photos and stuff, some stills, so I have comparisons for when I do my check-in at the end of February. I just didn't have time to mark them before I decided to sit down and film this. So we're going to try to use that up. And the other product I have here is a CoverGirl Oh Sugar. This was a tinted lip balm in the shade Caramel. I don't believe they make these anymore. I really liked this product. I spent way too much money on it when I first bought it, but I really loved it. I was using it pretty regularly for a long time, and I don't remember why I stopped using it, but I feel like I may have gotten a new product or lost it somewhere in my purse, which is very plausible. That happens a lot. But the color looks like that, so it's kind of like a pinky beige color, but that's about all we have left, so that should only take me a few weeks to get through. It's a very soft formula, so I have had to squish it back into the tube already, as you can see there. But I really liked this, and I've been trying to find replacements for it, so I'm hoping to find one of those before I use this up. But so that is it for my face products. As far as my skincare goes, I'm not going to be trying to pan any of my skincare for my face. I just replaced everything in November. I really like the products that I picked up. They're all plant-based, really, really nice cleanser, a really good serum, and actually a really good plant-based drugstore replacement for my moisturizer, but I can talk about that another time. I really like that, so I would love to actually sit down and do a very short review of it for anybody that's curious. but I really love that. So that whole skincare routine is staying. I'm not panning any of that. I may try to use, I did just get a set of travel size, like Drunk Elephant jelly cleanser and I think it's a peptide moisturizer. I may try to use those, but not until next month. I'm traveling next month, and they are the perfect size to take with me. So I'm going to try to use those next month and see how I like them. Even if it's just for the week while I'm traveling, I would like to see what those are like and if I'm going to like them, if I'm going to want to try to use them again. As far as everything else goes, I have 3 other things that I want to talk about category-wise. I have a couple of skincare and hair products, and I know I said I wasn't going to pan any of my skincare, but this is more, this is actually a face mask. It is the Detoxifying Charcoal Mask. It is a bamboo charcoal and sugar cane extract mask that I picked up at Walgreens about a year ago, maybe. It's about half gone. It's okay. It's not the best charcoal mask I have ever used. I feel like it tends to dry out my skin a little bit more than I want it to. It's just kind of an okay product. It's not bad, which is why I'm going to try to use it up. But I'm going to see how much of this I can use in the next month, trying to use it, once a week. And then whatever's left over by the end of the month, I think I'm just going to toss it. Like I said, it's not my favorite. I don't use it as much as I thought I was going to, so it's not a huge deal. I'm just going to chuck it in the bin. And then I have another mask that I'm going to try to use. It is a rose mask. I have to find that. It's a rose clay mask that I picked up at Target. So I'm going to try to use that up. As far as hair care goes, I don't use a lot of hair products. What I do use quite a bit of is dry shampoo. So I'm going to try to use up the rest of this Argan Oil Organics dry shampoo. I hate this. The product itself is good. It reeks of flowers. It is really strong and overpowering. If that's a scent that you're into, it's great. If not, I don't love this. I spray a little bit on my roots, try to work it in, and the smell is so overpowering I end up with a headache afterwards. So in my book, you should not have to take a couple of Tylenol after you used your dry shampoo, but I'm going to try to use up the rest of this. This is almost empty. I just hated to spend as much money as I did on this and not use it up. I have a backup. It is another Organics. It is the coconut dry shampoo from them. That one I like a lot better. The smell is a lot better. So I'm going to use this and then start using that one up. So last few things I want to talk about is some all over moisturizers. So my body lotions. I had a really bad habit for a long time of buying tons of body lotions. I used to live up north. I live down south now in the U.S. Up north, it gets really dry in the winter, so I used to buy tons and tons of body lotion and try to use it up. Problem is the scents that I was using, I have been using for about 8 years and about 4 years now, respectively. So, I mean, they're not terrible products. Part of the overhaul of trying to use up all of my moisturizers too, so I'm trying to switch over to more natural phthalate, paraben, and sulfate-free stuff. I do actually have a couple of companies that I'm looking into ordering from, so I want to try to get rid of this stuff before I actually go ahead and place an order with them. So right now I am trying to use up the Cashmere Glow Shea Butter body lotion from Bath & Body Works. That smells really nice. It's kind of peachy, ambery, fluffy, delightful. I loved this scent for the longest time. This is the one I've been wearing for about 8 years now, and I got bored with it. I needed to change a pace. They stopped making this scent anyway. You can only get it online. So I have 3 of these. This one I just started using. I've been shaking it up a little bit, but it's about here. I'm going to mark this bottle as well. I'm hoping to use this up by the end of the month, and then I'm going to start in on the other 2. not bad. I'm just switching over the types of skincare and stuff I'm using and trying to find different scents that I like a little bit better and trying to mix it up a bit. So we're going to try to use this up. I'm going to try to use this more during the day. I have one more that I'm going to use, and I'm going to try to use this one more at night. This is the Rough and Red Relief from O'Keeffe's. It is a thicker, more of a body cream. I actually thought I was really going to like this. I work with my hands, so I swear by the working hands for dry and chapped hands, just working around heat and dry type of workplace. I love the working hands. I didn't like this. It's a thinner formula than the working hands. It's okay. It just sits on my skin weird. Sorry, my camera is all over the place because I'm trying to open this. But it's not my favorite thing. Like I said, it sits on the skin weird. It's not my favorite scent. It does smell nice, but it smells like grapefruit, which is not a preferred scent of mine. As you can see, there's a pretty big dent in this. I've been using it for a while, trying to figure out if I like it or not. It's been a love-hate relationship. I get these weird patches of eczema right on the insides of my arms, like that. It seems to really help with that. I just don't like that it sits on top of my skin the way that it does. It's great for the hand moisturizers, but not for all over. The container is also opaque, so I have no idea how far into this I am. I'm guessing about a third of the way through. I try to hold it up to a light and try to mark it up so I can figure out where this is. So we're going to try to use that up too. And last but not least, I have a couple of fragrances I want to use. I was talking about buying a bunch of stuff in bulk from like Bath and Body Works when I was using a lot of their products. I really liked their scents. So I have a little bit of this Cashmere Glow body mist left. Of course, it's down to the opaque part, but it is about here as far as what's left in here. So I should be able to use this up fairly quickly, I'm hoping. I do have another one of these in my cupboard. I need to see if that one is full or if I have used that one. If it is still full, I may just take it and give it to my little sister. I know she uses this as well. So if I have a full one, I might give that to her and just declutter it. It smells nice, just I don't use it a ton anymore. I also have a fragrance that is practically brand new. I don't even think I have used this yet, really. I bought a sampler of the Nest fragrances about 1.5 years ago. Just trying to figure out what I liked of the range that they had so far. And so I had a bunch of these little rollerball samplers. I did already give a few of them to my older sister. She grabbed a few that she liked. I have 4 of them left. One of them lives in my purse. That is the Indigo fragrance. I adore the Indigo. That one I use all the time anyway. I'm not even going to bother to pan that one just because it does get used frequently. This one I'm going to try to use a little bit more. This is the Black Tulip. It smells lovely. It's very similar to the Indigo, but this is more fruity. This is more plummy as opposed to fig based. But again, this is kind of musky, heavy. It's a good winter scent. So I'm going to try to use this up. And one other product as well, because they are both heavier products, which I tend to like that heavier, warmer, sweeter scent. But I live in, again, I said I live in the South, and we're going to be warming up in the next month or so. So they are not going to really be seasonal anymore. The other fragrance I have is actually this little monthly sampler from Scentbird. This is the DKNY My NY. I've been really enjoying this actually. It's about halfway here. Again, I'm going to try to take a photo of this for references, but I use this pretty much every day. I've really liked this scent. I don't know if I'm going to buy it again, but I'm getting a new scent from them in about a week. So I want to try to use this up, and then I'm going to switch over to the other one, and we'll see how we like that one. But right now, that's what I have for fragrances that I'm going to try to use up. And that's actually it for my project pan for right now. You know, like I said, I'm a month behind. Trying not to overdo it this time, just to see how much I can handle within a month. And I'm hoping to get through at least a few of these things. I'm hoping, if anything, I can pan that blush by the end of the month. I've been using it since November, so I can't see why I wouldn't pan the other one in 2 months, because I started it in August. So I can't imagine that this one would take that long, but this is what I have. I'm really excited to see you guys in a few weeks to do my check-in. I'm hoping I'm going to have a better camera setup than trying to record from my phone and figure out what's going on with the webcam on my computer, and hopefully that one will be better. But I will see you guys at the end of the month. Good luck panning.